Good afternoon. Welcome to GrainTV. My name is Cody Bills. This is Logan Burgess. Today is Friday the 11th, and we had the market moving lower here. Let's take a look at the trading platforms here. We closed off the day. Corn for May trading down 2 3/4 cents. Soybeans leading the charge lower, 19 1/4 cents sell-off there, and wheat down 2 cents. Logan, why was soybeans such a big seller this Friday?
Yeah, we did see another weekday here out of the soy complex in general. Take a look here at the May soybean chart. This is a candlestick chart, and each bar here represents 1 day worth of price action. As you can see here, another strong close lower. It seemed like some continuation of yesterday's move that got started on news of Chinese cancellations of U.S. soybeans. Another thing that could have been weighing on the market in today's action in particular, we do have a NOPA crush report out on Tuesday of next week. And as we know, during the month of March, soybean crush margins have been relatively low. As you can see on this chart here, this is showing that crush margin in cents per bushel, and this line here at 50 cents per bushel is viewed as the break even for many crushing facilities. So that's a concern as it relates to the quantity of beans crushed during the month of March. We could have seen some short positions put on in anticipation of a relatively light March crush number next Tuesday in that NOPA report. You know, Cody, with this in mind, right now it seems like there's some negative news in the soybean market. What are you telling producers right now that may still be holding on to old crop bushels?
Well, I think for those that are holding on to old crop bushels that haven't priced it, I do think that these are good price levels to be looking to make some sales here. But, you know, for those that are speculating a little bit more, I know that we had a little bit of excitement wanting to get short here with this selling pressure.
Right.
And I think I would caution people right now, since we are sitting right on the trend line. I would prefer, we are seeing negative fundamentals here, like the stories that you've been talking about, but I would prefer to see the technicals break as well. Right now, this bullish trend line is still intact. I'd like to see the bullish trend line break before I get too aggressive here as a seller if I'm speculating in the market.
Well, you know, as we said, that NOPA crush report will dictate some of this trade action here into next week. That comes out on Tuesday at 11 o'clock Central Time. And we'll help keep you posted on expectations for that report in detail on Monday's GrainTV. You know, Cody, it is Friday here, and we like to break down what changes we saw in the cash market this week. Seemed like a relatively quiet week for basis compared to what we've been seeing.
Yeah, that's right. No maps this week, just simply because we didn't have much basis change across the board. Corn was only up 1/4 penny. Soybeans was unchanged. The only thing that really stood out relatively strong here was corn along the river terminals. We did notice that on average they were up about 1 1/4 cents. I think that has a lot to do with the fact, you know, they've been relatively strong here in terms of basis for the last few weeks. And I think that has a lot to do with the fact that export inspections down at the Gulf have been very high for corn in particular, simply because we're moving out of that soybean exporting season. We're moving into where we're really moving a lot of corn, and we got a lot of outstanding sales left to move out and ship out of this country. Now, one thing to keep in mind here is the northern plains. You'll notice that they have sold off very sharply between January and March, but we are noticing that they are stabilizing. They haven't improved yet, but they are stabilizing. And I would suspect that we're going to continue to see stabilizing here through the rest of the month. I would suspect also that during the beginning of May to the middle part of May, we may start to see a little bit of a rebound here, particularly because the warmer weather is going to allow trains to move that grain out more efficiently. The trains will be longer. They'll be moving at faster average speeds. And not only that, but the thaw along the river is going to allow some of that basis, some of that grain to move out along the upper part of the river to St. Paul. And also, you know, when you look at exports on Duluth, you're going to get the Great Lakes starting to break up and shipping lanes moving out of there. I think all in all, and you look at farmers in the field, you know, planting, I think that's going to slow the movement from the farm to the elevator. When you factor all that in, I would suspect that the early to middle part of May, we're going to start to see a bit of a basis improvement here for those in the northern plains.
Well, if you are living in North Dakota, South Dakota, or Minnesota, and you want to talk about cash basis in detail here with Cody, feel free to call our office. Number here is 472-4607. Just a reminder here, we now have a great mobile trading platform available at GrainHedge. It's available now for your iPhone, iPad, Android, or tablet. It will be a great resource here as we get into planting season in just a few short weeks. If you're interested in that, visit us at grainhedge.com. You can take a no-obligation trial there. And as always, give us a call if you have questions. Number here is 877-472-4607. Thanks a lot for joining us here on a Friday. Have a great weekend. We'll see you back here on Monday.